who's ready to dive right into the first step of my 10-step process? Okay. Now, you'll need your pen and papers for this, guys, because this is going to be part of the quiz. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because repetition is the mother of all mastery. Okay. It's if you write things down, you learn them quicker. It's a direct route to your unconscious mind. Okay, so lots of interaction on the chat, guys. Let's write this down on your notepad. Number one, unconscious rapport. Now, the best way to describe this is taking you back in time a bit. Does anybody know why people wave at each other and why waving is a positive thing? Well, I'll tell you why, and this is relevant. Our ancestors back in the days used to have to travel to find food and water. As they traveled across the land, they would encounter groups that they didn't know across the hillside to show that they're not talking to an enemy or they're not dangerous. They would wave their hands. Give me a wave back, guys. So I know you're there. They would wave their hands. Thank you, Gabriella, to say that we're not carrying any weapons. We are approachable. The reason why we wave our hands, and I'll explain why this is important now in a second. The reason why we do this is to show that we're not carrying weapons, that we are approachable. Now, why am I telling you this? Because we still carry this as a positive symbol. What we also carry is that when we meet someone new for the first time, we are always thinking subconsciously or consciously, is this a friend or is this a foe? Okay. Am I making sense, guys? We still carry the wave. We still carry that human instinct. When we meet a stranger, we're thinking, is this guy legit? Is he a scammer? Can I trust him or do I not trust him? Okay. So when we're meeting a client on a Zoom meeting for the first time, that is going on in the client's mind. Okay. Is this guy a friend or foe, scam or legit? Do I trust him or do I not trust him? Believe me, guys, this is what's going on in the client's mind. So how do we stack the deck in our favor? How do we use this knowledge so that we can wave at the client and say, we are friends, we are trusted, we are an authority, okay? This is what I mean by unconscious rapport. Excuse me. The person will make a judgment on you immediately, okay? And then reinforce that judgment. And this is in life as well, guys. When you're meeting new people, this is going on in their mind subconsciously. Friend or foe, okay? So on a Zoom meeting, this is the important part, guys, and take notes, please, because I will be asking questions in the quiz later. When on a Zoom meeting, when we meet someone for the first time, who would like to know a technique that could gain that friendship, that wave, immediately in a nanosecond, under a minute? Who would like to learn how to do that every single time you meet someone new on a Zoom meeting or in any meeting, any encounter? Let me see your hands, guys. Who would like to learn an immediate way? Thank you, Karen. An immediate way of gaining unconscious rapport so that this person, for some reason or not, likes you. They resonate with you, okay? They just feel that they have some sort of a connection, and they do, because all of the closers that work with us put the client first. So understanding how to get unconscious rapport is vital. Immediate rapport, okay? Because if they don't like us, they will start to stack that justification up. So tomorrow, I'll be showing you guys live with live calls with my closers, demonstrating how we get unconscious rapport. Who would like to see that, guys? Let's see on the chat. Who would like to see, who would like to see live what I'm talking about? Because I could be talking this stuff and, you know, is it true? Is it real? This unconscious rapport technique that I'll be sharing with you tomorrow gains rapport with any single stranger. All right. And I'll share that tomorrow, guys, I promise. So, number 2, write this down, guys. Very important. Step number 2. Now that we've got the unconscious rapport with the client, number 2, we ask permission to jump straight into the call. Now, why do we do this? Guys, what the client wants the most from us is professionalism. Nobody wants to buy from a rookie, okay? Asking permission to jump into the call after we've gained that initial opening unconscious rapport, the hand wave, we asking to jump into the call allows the client to see that we are professionals and we are taking control of this conversation. Very simple, very basic, but very powerful, okay? We've got the unconscious rapport. Number 2, on a Zoom meeting, can I ask, shall we jump right into the call, Mr. Customer? Yeah, let's do it. Boom, okay? It's a positive yes. You've asked permission. You can now go into the call, which is the next step, is the opening statement. Write this down, guys. Excuse me. Opening statement. Now, this is step number 3 of the perfect one-call close, of the perfect business interaction with a human on a Zoom call. Number 3, opening statement. This is a paragraph, language pattern that I call it, that we prepare as closers to demonstrate what's going to happen next on the call to the client. Subconsciously, and what's actually happening is the way we deliver our opening statement sets us as an authority on this call. Okay? And I'll say that again. It sets us as an authority on this call. No one wants to buy from a beginner or an unprofessional, especially high ticket. Okay, we're talking thousands of dollars, multiple, sometimes more. Nobody wants to buy from a rookie. So to have this opening statement shows that we are professional, what's going to happen next, and we deliver it in a way that is professional. Okay. Number 3, guys, opening statement, rehearsing it, practicing it till it comes off, off the back of your tongue and it sounds professional. Okay. 3 steps so far, and we're only about a minute and a half in to the meeting with the client. I'll recap. Unconscious rapport, asking permission to go into the call, opening statement. All right. Let's see on your chats, guys, if this is making sense so far. Is this making sense? Let me know. Give me some interaction. Give me some love. Let me see where we're at. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Yeah, let me down. I've got to fast forward a bit because quite a few. It makes sense. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, George. Gabriella, awesome. Thank you. You've got capitals on it. Philippe, thank you. Awesome. That's great stuff that you're following me. Remember, guys, there's going to be a quiz at the end of these 10 steps, okay? Now, number 4, and this is very important. This is the reason that we have followed the first 3 steps is so that we've gained the trust of the client to open up in the qualification. Okay. Now, this is where the sale is made or broken oftentimes. Okay. Telling is not selling. This is my old friend Brian Tracy came out of this back in the 90s. Telling is not selling. Okay. The way to sell, the way that we sell here is we ask the right questions that solve the problems that our service or solution can fix. Okay, makes sense? So we know what problems we can fix. We base our questions around those problems. Okay, makes sense, guys? So the client starts to open up with your questions, and by allowing the client to speak, they start to formulate images of pain and gain. Because remember, guys, pain is more motivational than gain. And oftentimes rookie salespeople don't go down the pain because it's painful. It's awkward. But that is where most people will take the action. And in the qualification stage here, we bring out the pain. Okay? Because from frustration comes change. When the client realizes that, damn, if I don't make a change now, nothing's going to change for me. All right. And in the future, I will still have this problem if I don't solve it now. So in the qualification, we identify the problems that we can solve and we ask questions around that. Okay. Does that all make sense, guys? Is this resonating with you? Give me some feedback. Qualification is so important. It's where the sale's made or broken. Because if the client opens up and starts speaking, okay, the trust with them speaking of you, it's like, I call it a trust bubble. The more they speak, the bigger the bubble gets. The more you speak, the smaller it gets. So we've got to be very selective in our questionings here and go deeper with the client, okay? Number 4, guys, qualification. Super duper important. I hope that makes sense. Does anybody understand what I'm saying about qualification? Is that making sense? Let me see some chats here, guys. Yes, Melvin, building trust, indeed. Gabriella, yes, thank you. Sure, building trust, indeed, yes. Good metaphor, thank you. Bigger the bubble, bigger probability to close. Absolutely. And the trust is bigger. You know, telling is not selling. Rookies go out there and start going, oh, this is what we do, and this is how we do it, and how amazing we are. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care about them, okay? And we got to care about our clients. So the qualification is where this is brought up, guys. And I teach my closers that this part here is normally about 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes goes into 25, 30 minutes. All right. So it's a time for the client to open up, express, build those images in their mind about the pain and the gain by you giving them breathing space. Okay. I hope this all makes sense, guys. Right. Qualification, very important part. Next, my slides. Next. Blocking the 3 objections. Now, who here would like to go through a sales presentation all the way through to the end without any objections? Let me see in the chat, guys, if you would like to have a conversation with someone that guides them to a decision that's good for them. And along the way, you block the objections. So when it comes to advancing the sale, it's just a mere question of, does it make sense to look at the agreement together? Yes. All right. So how do we block the 3 main objections? And what are they? Well, no time, no money, have to talk to the business partner or spouse. Often these are just smoke screens that aren't real. You know, they're just fobbing you off potentially. Sometimes they are real, okay? But if they bring this up later in the conversation, there's no way out, okay? So what does the high ticket closer do? Skillfully, during the qualification stages or after the qualification stages, step 5, we ask those questions that blocks these objections, okay? And how we do that is, for example, tell me, Mr. Customer, why is now a good time for you to get started on something like this? And the client will start opening up, well, now's a great time because if I don't do it now, I will never do it. Brilliant. You've got the client to admit that now is a good time. So, excuse me, part of the presentation, step 5, is we create language patterns, 1 for no time, 1 for no money, and 1 to need to talk to business partner or spouse or the cat. Okay? People, we block these, they can't bring them up later. Okay? So the point of step number 5 is blocking the main objections why we do it is so they can't bring it up later. Okay. And experienced salespeople out there, Melvin, Isaiah, excuse me, I'm sure this makes sense to you guys. Right. Does this make sense? Give me some feedback, guys, because the more you write down, the more you're going to learn as we go. Thank you, Sam. Good to see you, Sam. Welcome. Eben, thank you. Baron, awesome. Thank you, Shahid. Great feedback, guys. Thank you. Now, I hope this is all making sense. We're halfway through. And as you can see, guys, I'm going high level on this. The how we'll show you tomorrow. I'll show you steps 1, 2, and 3 live, the responses we're getting from our clients, okay? And then I'll show you other stuff on day 4 and day 5 too. We'll go deeper, okay? But today, I want you all to walk away with the process so you know what it takes to systematically make someone feel comfortable with you to close on that one call, to be comfortable to part with $5,000, $10,000 on just meeting you on the first day. Now, one call closes, just so you know, it's a certain type of buyer, okay? And only 1 in 4 buyers are one call closers. So 25% of buyers are one call closes, 75% are follow-ups. So the fortune really is in the follow-up. But if the client has ticked all these boxes, now is a good time. They have the money. They don't need to talk to the business partner or spouse. They make their own decisions. That means they're a potential candidate for a one-call close. Write this down, guys. This is important. Because if they say here, I need to talk to my business partner or spouse, we wouldn't close, okay? Because that's just how some people say commission breath. You're just thinking about yourself, all right? They've told you they need to speak to a business partner or spouse. So by bringing this up here, it means that we know that we can't close them on this call, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Is that a golden nugget or not? Let me know, guys. Does that all make sense? Does that resonate with you guys? If we bring it up here, we won't be closing them on the first call, okay? If they have to talk to business partner and spouse, they haven't got the money, then now's not the right time, okay? Very important, guys. Blocking the 3 main objections, number 5. Now, number 6, presenting the offer. Excuse me. Now, presenting the offer is very much based on the answers that your customer has given you in the qualification. Okay. We all know what our product can do. All right. We all know the problems it can solve. So presenting the offer has to be, Mr. Customer, you said you liked blue. This is the blue version, and this is what we'll bring to you. Okay. So we match our offer with what the client's problems are. All right. Make sense, guys? We match our offer, which we know backwards because we're good salespeople, and we match the offer to the client's hot buttons. The most important things that the client spoke about is what we match. So we won't go in the same pitch and say, oh, blah, 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 blah. No, we'll go, this is what's important to you first, and this is what we do, and this is how it will bring you. And we address each one of the client's concerns, not our product. We match the product to the client. Number 6, presenting your offer that is in a way that's tailor-made to your client. Very important. Okay. Number 7, once we've presented the offer, we need to flush out any other objections. Okay? Because we may have missed something out. They might be unsure. We need to know that they are a 9 or a 10 out of 10 before we advance to presenting the investment, okay? So we need to know here, and a very elegant way of doing this is saying, Mr. Customer, based on what we've spoken about today, remember, you've been here for about 40 minutes by now. Based on what we've said along the way, out of 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I don't believe a word this guy is saying, to 10, I love it, I'm ready to start right now. I love what you're saying, your service, you're ready to start right now. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. Now, why we do this is we want to check that we haven't missed anything out. And if they're holding anything back, they'll let you know with the answer. Okay. So if they're piping hot and ready to go, and they're like, yeah, I'm a 10 out of 10, man, this is perfect. Now we're edging on the consistency bias. They say they're a 10 out of 10, they're ready to go, right? If they say, oh, I'm a 6 out of 10, what we do here is we say, thank you for sharing that with me, Mr. Customer. How can I get you from a 6 to a 10? What's missing? And the client will bring up something that they're not quite happy about. For example, oh, I need to speak with one of your clients before I move ahead. Okay. And I'll say, Mr. Customer, that's perfectly understandable. And if you speak with one of my clients and you are happy with the responses, what will that take you from? What will that take you from a 6 out of a scale of 1 to 10? Where will that take you to? Okay. Because if they say, oh, I'm a 9 or a 10, money aside, because we don't know the investment, I'm a 9 or a 10. Okay. Then we're good to go into the investment. Presenting the investment. We know we've covered and flushed out any objections. If they say, oh, I'm a 7, I've gone from a 6 to a 7, then you can say, well, bear with me, Mr. Customer. Look, most of my clients are normally a 10 by now. So tell me, what will it take? What's missing? And we flush out any objection. Oh, I don't like the color blue. I want it in red. Awesome. Okay, if we were to get it for you in blue, right, based on what we said, where would you be out of 10? Oh, money aside, a 9 or a 10. Bingo. Okay. We flushed out all of the objections. Guys, does this make sense to you? Let me see in the chat if the temperature check makes sense to you, because it might come up later in the quiz. All right. This is important because once the client is a 9 or a 10 out of 10, there are no more objections apart from finance, money. All right. So this is what I mean by having an objection-free conversation with someone that will advance them to a sale. Okay. Number 7, guys, the temperature check. Tell me, guys, did you like that? I need a bit of water. On the chat, can you tell me if you got what the temperature check is? If it makes sense. Ella, so good. They sell themselves every time. Absolutely. Makes sense. Thanks, Eben. Any objections to no product? Yeah, absolutely, Eben. We've got to be passionate about our product, Eben. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Is it Eben or Eben? You're quite right. We've got to be passionate about our product. So passionate that we'd sell it to our own mother if she was a qualified lead. Sorry, guys, bit of a itchy throat today. Okay, thank you. So number 7, the temperature check. Moving on. Number 8. So we're at presenting the investment. Again, this is more of a summary because we're a 9, 10 out of 10. We ask permission. Look, Mr. Customer, you said you're a 9, 10 out of 10. You're happy to go ahead. Is it okay if I share with you the investment? So we're asking permission again, okay? Always honoring the client, okay? The investment is summarized, tailor-made. Okay, Mr. Customer, you wanted it in blue. You wanted the extra training, the onboarding, the whatever it is that they've got, we list it out in a stack, a value stack. So they are reminded of what they're getting for their money. Okay. Number 8, presenting the investment. Number 9, sending the agreement close. Because we've had, this is the perfect scenario, by the way. The client said that they're a 10 out of 10. They said that now is a good time to go ahead, that they make their own decisions. Okay. They do not, they have the money and they're willing to invest. It's now a progression. It's just a quick question. Look, does it make sense for us to go through the agreement together? Yes, it does. And then you go through the agreement, and now where the client is in a position that they can see everything that you've said in writing. They've said they're a 10 out of 10. Okay. They've said that they make their own decisions. They're excited. They want to go ahead, and there's nothing holding them back because we've brought everything up in the qualification and blocking the main objections. Okay. So number 9 should be an easy transition, sending the agreement and wrapping up the contract, the agreement, authorizing the signature and getting it all wrapped up. Okay. That is a natural progression. And we've seen this. I've got multiple calls of this working exactly as I'm showing you guys. The right buyer, the right time, follows this process, is ready to go, makes their own decisions. They one call close using this process. Okay. Who's excited to find out more, guys? Who wants to hear some more? Give me some love in the chat, please. Give me some feedback, because in my training, by the way, that you guys are winning, 2 of you are winning tonight, I go deeper into this, show you a bit more of the how, and I will do over the next few days as well, show you more of the how to do this. But today, I want you all to get the whole 10 steps, okay? All of these 10 steps, and then we can go deeper into each one of those steps, and you can come away from this training better at high ticket closing if you're doing it or considering starting it, okay? So thanks for the feedback. Chats, marketing signals need worked in. Are there any common principles? Gabriella, great question. Yeah, the principles I'm referring to now, Gabriella, are common principles for anyone on a Zoom meeting, okay? There will be some slight tweaks if it's face-to-face. The principles are the same. The wave, it's a complete stranger, right? So getting to greet them and say hello, in a way that honors them. And I'll show you tomorrow, Gabriella, how we do this every single time and get that unconscious rapport. So in answer to your question, yes, these principles are used in every transaction that I work in, right? And you can be used face-to-face, on the phone, selling B2B, B2C. I hope I've answered your question, Gabriella. Okay. So the final step, guys, is, and because we have covered all the objections, the only thing that we need to cover off in this process, remember, Gabriella, everybody else watching, if it's a corporate deal, then we need to understand the procurement process within that corporate company. And it's a totally different deal. This is for consumers on a Zoom call. Business to business is slightly different. But if a consumer has, we've spoken about all the objections. They're a 10 out of 10. They're excited to go ahead. The only thing to speak about is isolating the financial objection, okay? Because if they say, oh, it's too much, then we can say, okay, well, listen, if it's just the 5,000 or the 10,000 holding you back, it is. If not, you'd be all over this, right? Yes, I would. Okay, then let's talk potentially, or is it worth talking about a payment plan? Do you want to discuss? Should we explore that? Yes, we shall. So we've isolated the objections. The only reason not to go ahead. Shall we look at a payment plan? Yes, we shall. And then you present the payment plan after being given permission to do so. Okay, because you're exploring the way of working together in a way that the client can afford to work with you. Okay, so very, very basic stuff. So number 10. Isolating the financial objections. If we've done our blocking all the way up, time, money, business partner, spouse, temperature check, the only thing left to talk about is isolating the financial objection. Does that make sense?